Growing up, it's something that we all experience. For some, they can't wait to grow up. Others are nervous about it. But regardless of how you may feel, sooner or later, it's going to happen. For some of you, maybe it started already. For the rest of you, it'll start soon enough. You thought you were growing up fast? Just wait. Your body will soon change faster and more dramatically than ever before. It's called puberty. It can be a fun time of life, and it can be an intense time of life. But if you can learn about it, if you can better understand it, then you can truly appreciate and enjoy this big, new stage of your life. So come along, learn with us, and have fun with us on our little video that we call Puberty for Boys. Amazing changes inside and out. Puberty is the name given to a whole set of physical changes that we all, boys and girls, experience as we begin to get older. For boys, it'll usually start around the age of 13 or 14, but some start as early as 10 or as late as 16 or 17 years old. What are these changes? Well, you'll get bigger for one thing.
Well, I'm always getting bigger. Every year, right?
Sure, yeah, but during puberty, you will experience an even faster growth spurt. Plus, your body will begin to change shape. Your shoulders will become wider. You will become more muscular. Generally speaking, you begin to look more adult-like.
I can handle that. What else?
Well, you'll get hairier. Underneath your arms, you will begin to grow more hair. Same thing with your pubic hair.
My pubic hair?
Sure. The area near your penis will sprout a few hairs, and then a few more, and then a few more until...
Okay. I got it. What else?
Well, you'll begin to get more facial hair. At first, you will see more peach fuzz, thin little hairs, and eventually even a small beard. Sooner or later, we'll all want to shave. When you feel it's time, you may want to ask help from your parents, but it's not really as tricky as it may seem. Get some shaving cream, a safe razor, and take your time. Be careful. For most boys, it can be an important rite of passage on their road toward manhood.
Sounds good. What else?
You'll begin to smell more.
You mean smell more like with my nose smell more? Or more like smell more like I smell more?
Your body will emit a stronger odor.
Really? I did not know that.
Yep. You see, as you get older, your body chemistry changes and you perspire more, especially from the sweat glands in your underarms.
Nasty. So use more deodorant, right?
Sure, a deodorant will cover the odor, but you may want to use an antiperspirant, which will actually help you perspire less. Your armpits will actually have less sweat. Some people like one, some people like the other, whatever. But you'll definitely have to be sure to bathe more often. With puberty, your body emits much more perspiration and oils. You would definitely want to maintain proper hygiene habits and wash more.
Wouldn't want to stink.
Or get acne.
Pimples?
Right. We have sweat glands all over our face. If one of these glands were to become clogged, where do the oils go? Well, it can back up and infect the area surrounding the gland. The area pusses up and rises to the skin. Most kids, to some degree, get acne, and it can be a real pain. It can hurt, and kids don't really like the way it looks, so what can you do?
What?
Wash your face regularly with soap a few times a day. This will help your pores to stay free of oily backup. If you develop a serious problem, you may need to visit a dermatologist. That's a skin doctor who can perhaps prescribe special medication or treatment that may help.
Anything else?
Oh, well, yeah. There's your sexual development.
Okay, I'm ready.
And this is a big part of it all. You know, a big part of growing up. I mean, yeah, maybe we should consult a doctor. Lucky for us, We happen to have a doctor right here. This is Dr. John O'Brien. He's an adolescent internist at Illinois Masonic Medical Center in Chicago. An adolescent internist. That's for young teenagers, right?
Right. Adolescence is the transition from childhood to adulthood.
Like puberty.
Well, kind of. Puberty is the name we give the specific physical changes that occur during adolescence. Adolescence is this entire time period of our lives.
Okay.
Okay, so you've had some pain in the...
I help kids with whatever kind of illness that they might have, or sometimes I can even help them with specific issues that they might be having during puberty.
Okay. Good. Great. Perfect. So, puberty involves a sexual maturity, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So...
Well, okay. Here's what happens. It all starts with hormones.
Hormones. They're like messengers, right?
Yes. Different organs in the body produce hundreds of various types of hormones. These hormones, or tiny messengers, travel through our whole body. They regulate the way we eat, sleep. Essentially, they regulate the way we live.
Right. So, when puberty starts...
When puberty starts, deep inside our brains, there's a gland. This is called the pituitary gland, which produces a hormone that tells our body that it's time to mature. This hormone travels through our blood down to our reproductive system. Two of our reproductive organs are the testicles. This hormone tells our testicles it's time. The testicles then begin producing another hormone called testosterone. Testosterone is responsible for all the changes that we associate with puberty. Growth spurt, facial hair, perspiration, and even the deepening of your voice. Also, the testicles are responsible for producing sperm. Sperm are the tiny male cells that are necessary for producing babies with a female. Throughout your life, your testicles will produce millions of sperm. Your body has a natural feeling of wanting to release the sperm, so it is common to have an erection, which means blood flows into the tissue of the penis, making it stiffen and stand up. Now, when this happens, it may be possible for the sperm to travel all the way from the testes through the various tubes where it is mixed with semen, and then through the final tube, called the urethra, to be ejected out through the penis. This is called an ejaculation. It's really quite common for boys to experience an ejaculation during puberty. Often these occur at night, usually while you're asleep. These are called nocturnal emissions, or wet dreams. Some kids, well, they can get embarrassed by it.
It's shocking, and you kind of like feel a little weird, you know. I remember feeling a little dirty or something.
Right. Yeah. At first, the first time, it's just.
But it is a pretty normal thing, and it happens to most people at a certain age.
Yeah, it's totally normal. That's the key thing to remember, is that these changes that happen, it's not weird. It's just
Like you're not weird, or you're not abnormal in any way.
it's natural, and so
100% natural.
yeah, and so don't feel weird about it,
Ejaculations are really very, very common during puberty, and there's really nothing to be embarrassed about.
Nice butt. Speaking on erections and all, it's common for boys to, it's common for boys to, it's common for boys to have
A spontaneous erection. Sure, boys can get erections when they least expect it, and sometimes when they least want it.
It happens a lot, especially gym is probably the hardest time because you're in those shorts, those jogging pants or those jogging shorts. And then the girls are also in their shorts, so, their legs are showing. And
Have you ever been talking to a girl and like all of a sudden you have to sit
Yes.
down, like you have to tie your shoe or something?
Yes. You sit down, or you tie your shoe, or
Excuse me, I have to tie my shoe.
or you like fix your shirt.
Yeah.
You fix your,
and you think, oh my God, like everyone must know.
Right.
But really, there's no reason to be worried about it. Nobody's looking, nobody's noticing. Don't worry about it. Think about something else. It'll pass soon enough.
And Juliet,
You know Romeo, right? Romeo was only 14 or 15 years old, still in the powerful throes of puberty, testosterone coursing through his veins. Juliet to him was the most beautiful and most desirable creature on this earth. Well, it'll probably feel something a little like that for you. Yep. You'll probably feel an unbelievable attraction to girls, or, more specifically, a certain girl. A girl that seems to have it all, the object of your desire, a distant, mysterious, far-off creature. Well, my advice is try, first and foremost, and above all else, be a friend.
So, you want to hang out later?
Sure.
Start with the understanding and respect of friendships. Respect each other's feelings and opinions.
And then divide.
Help each other with homework.
Would you like something to drink? Oh, sure.
Get to know her parents.
Oh, yeah.
Listen to her problems. Truly try to understand what she thinks and how she feels. In other words, be friends. If a physical relationship does develop, it'll be strong and real. After all, having close friends, having the trust and intimacy of friendship is one of the greatest joys in the world.
I couldn't agree more.
Hey, just in time. We were just discussing girls and all.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we've learned all about what boys go through during puberty, but we haven't talked about what girls go through.
Oh, well, I happen to know a lot about that.
Well, please share.
Well, in my video, Puberty for Girls, we learned that girls go through a lot of the same things boys do. They just usually go through them a couple of years sooner. They have a growth spurt, which changes their body shape. They develop wider hips, and they develop breasts. They perspire more, and so have to bathe more frequently. Some girls have to deal with acne. They begin to get more hair. Many girls choose to shave their legs and armpits. Regarding their sexual maturity, I went to visit a gynecologist, Dr. Romina Key. Dr. Key explained all about hormones.
Puberty hormone, but it starts in a small gland within the brain called the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland begins to make certain hormones that say, okay, body, it's time. These hormones travel through our blood down to our ovaries. We have 2 ovaries located below our belly. Each is only about the size and shape of an almond, and inside each you have thousands of very, very tiny eggs that you were born with. The hormones tell the ovaries to begin to make estrogen, another hormone. This estrogen travels throughout our body and tells our body to grow larger breasts, pubic hair, and to have a more womanly shape. One of the eggs inside one of the ovaries begins to grow larger and larger. It reaches the surface of the ovary and then pops through. Right next to the ovaries are the fallopian tubes. They have a fringed end that captures the egg and carries it down through a thin tube toward the uterus. The uterus is shaped kind of like an upside-down pear. During this time, the wall of the uterus becomes covered with a lining made of tissue and blood. This is like a pillow to protect the egg if the egg becomes fertilized and the woman becomes pregnant.
How does an egg become fertilized?
From the man. You see, their sperm are able to travel or swim, and if one can reach a woman's egg while on its journey to the uterus, well, then the egg becomes fertilized. The egg will attach to the lining and it will grow. 1 cell becomes 2, 2 cells becomes 4, until voila, a baby is created.
Amazing.
It's the miracle of birth.
But if the egg is not fertilized?
If the egg is not fertilized, then the body no longer needs the lining and it's shed. So it simply slides out of the uterus, down through the opening called the cervix, through the vagina, and onto, well, probably your underpants.
This is called having your period. It begins during puberty and happens just about every month. You've heard of maxi and mini pads and tampons, right? On TV? In commercials? Well, they're what a woman wears to protect her clothing from getting stained while she's having her period. Maxi and mini pads are worn outside of the body, Or the woman can choose to use a tampon, which is placed inside the body. It's the personal choice of the female.
So, like, when a girl has her period, she can become pregnant, right?
Yes, she is physically capable of becoming pregnant.
But that doesn't mean that she's emotionally or intellectually capable of being a good mother.
Right. Going through puberty doesn't automatically make you an adult. It takes many years to gain the experience and the wisdom needed to become a true adult.
Yeah, sometimes kids think after puberty that, oh, I have to act all grown up now, when really they should just go on and enjoy being a kid.
Yep. And be comfortable, knowing that you deserve to receive the protection and the assistance and the care of those adults around you.
This is the time when we start dealing with emotions that we never experienced before.
Exactly. In my experience so far, almost always adolescence is one of the most difficult times of our lives. There's certainly other difficult times to go through, but the challenges that are unique to adolescence we never have to go through again. Never will our bodies change so much in such a short amount of time. Never will the expectations on us change so quickly. Never will we have to give up so much in order to move on. And for all these reasons, there can be a lot of emotional difficulties, along with physical difficulties and academic difficulties and relationship difficulties. So a lot of things in adolescence lead to boys feeling kind of isolated and alone. And even feelings of confusion or loneliness or sadness. There's a huge new range of emotions you might come across that might all catch you off guard.
You know, all these crazy thoughts go through your head, like, oh, am I cool?
Maybe I am failing.
Felt very lonely.
Maybe I'm not succeeding.
Like you go through different moods.
My self-esteem is very fragile.
My first year of high school was just god-awful.
Different hormones going on through your body, you know.
Depression's really common.
You're basically very insecure at that point.
As a result, I just became more lonely and more withdrawn and more depressed.
But your security comes. It'll come. It comes for everyone, you know. You'll become secure.
Yeah.
You know, in some ways it's just your body changing and the hormones changing, and that kind of can mess up anybody. And also, it's as you see yourself differently, and as you see the world differently, and so you react differently to that. And you change the way you respond to the opposite sex. No longer do girls seem to have cooties, no longer do girls seem boring or undesirable. All of a sudden, girls seem like very interesting things.
Girls.
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 Yeah, basically girls.
Girls, girls, girls.
Girls is the main thing to be. I mean, that's a big thing that makes you feel kind of insecure, or kind of weird, or.
We develop different kinds of feelings, sexual feelings, romantic feelings, and also feelings of embarrassment and shame and doubt, also feelings of boldness and bravery. And all of these things kind of combine into what do we do with a girl across the room? How do I talk to the cute girl in the next classroom or down the street? Just because you're sexually attracted to a girl may not mean she's sexually attracted to you. And that should not be seen as a rejection or a put down or a mark against your own sexuality, but rather she's not ready for that kind of thing, or she's not interested in that kind of thing with you.
And if a girl doesn't like you for who you are,
then that's not your girl.
Right, exactly. I mean, you know, it's not the girl for you, and you know, there's gonna be girls out there who are gonna like you for who you are, no matter who you are, you know.
And in my experience, most adolescent boys go through a time where they're not popular at all, where they don't fit in at all, where they're really on their own for a while.
But no one ever wants to be alone, and you start thinking, well, what's wrong with me?
I can't do this. How do I fit in?
Why don't people want to be around me?
I feel like I'm fake.
Why don't people laugh at my jokes?
I can't find myself, like.
Why don't people find me attractive? And
I'm not popular. I'm not good looking. I'm stupid. I'll never be good at anything. No one will ever like me. When you sit by yourself, it's very easy to believe these things about yourself. So I think talking to someone you trust and someone who you feel is wise and can give you guidance can be a tremendously helpful thing during this very, very difficult time. So either a close friend, a close relative, or an adult that you can trust, whether it's a teacher, a counselor, maybe a therapist. I've had some kids who have asked their parents, I think I need to talk to somebody. I think I need to talk to a therapist or a counselor about my problems. Your mom and dad, you're great, but somehow I don't feel comfortable talking with you about some of these issues.
Right.
I don't want to say that adolescence is always awful. I think most adolescents have a pretty good time as they learn about their bodies and as they learn about relationships. I think it's a time of fantastic discovery and a lot of very interesting ideas and possibilities and experiences.
Your body's beginning to grow like in a way that it's never grown like this before. And so it's important to make choices that are going to make you happy and that, are going to make you healthier, smarter, wiser. I mean, these are things we all want to be.
You find a place to fit in, and you find out who you are and like what you like to do, and
the computer club, the chess club,
different sports, or
theater club, the football team,
poetry and writing and stuff like that.
You start to get like creative.
All these different things you'll have to try to find out where you really fit in.
I mean, what makes you, you?
Find who you are and be comfortable with who you are.
Doing what you want.
And don't worry too much about what other people think.
You get older, you make new friends, you meet girls.
And you laugh about it.
You've got nowhere to go but up.
But, it's difficult. But it's fun. It's a wild ride.